Where's your phone right now? Is it in your hand, in your pocket, or in your bag? We as people tend to keep our cell phones and or mobile devices on us almost at all times because we use it for every daily activity. After I graduate college, I'm going to be a high school teacher, and one of the most important policies that I'm going to have to set for my classroom is my cell phone policy. I'm sure you all know with the current COVID-19 pandemic, especially since with the lockdown last March that we all had to go to in like a self-quarantine, remote learning for our students and our parents is not only a frustration but could be a struggle. So with that being said, technology is an ever-going, evolving door for our education field. So, with that being said, since technology is becoming increasingly more popular, should students have their cell phones on them during school hours? Within this speech, we're going to kind of look at the benefits of allowing students to use their cell phones in school, some of the distractions that may come with it, solutions that teachers can then implement so that cell phones don't become a distraction, and some of the lifelong lessons that our students can gain from from us letting them have their cell phones on them. First, we're going to start with Brewer-Ken Public Schools. So they are trying to keep up with the technology. I read this in a research article, and they did not have enough computers at one point for every student to have one. And their curriculum and lesson plans for their teachers had already included like technology, whether it be writing essays, doing research, whatever it may be, it included technology. Their students were allowed to have their cell phones on them. So whether they didn't have enough computers, someone's computer was dead, or whatever the problem that occurred, students were then able to use their cell phones instead of computers, because let's face it, cell phones are basically little computers that are mobile that we can carry around in our pockets. Additionally, some of the distractions that some teachers might encounter with allowing their students to have their cell phones, with things such as texting, games, social media, are all things that Nancy Braille, I believe it is, mentioned in her research blog that she did. Or not research blog, academic journal. She stated that cell phones are not going to go away, so teachers need to find the correct classroom management in order to gain the most from their students. She also stated that 50% of students felt addicted to their cell phones, and then that 78% actually checked their cell phones hourly for some sort of notification. With that being said, classroom management is one of the most important things within letting students have their cell phones on them during school. Some tactics that I read that are increasingly popular is going to be the time frame that teachers give their students and their phone banks. So, what is a phone bank? A phone bank is a designated area within a classroom that students can put their cell phones in and then go about their class, whether they be doing activities or they're just doing some basic learning. They are separated from their phones. This is going to teach the students that they can be productive without their cell phones right next to them or using them, and that the world's not going to burn if they don't have their cell phones right next to them. Now, setting a time frame for students to complete activities, whether you let them use their cell phones or not. If you do, students can do research, or they can listen to music or do whatever they need to do with their cell phones that helps them learn better. And what the time frame does, so you set like a timer for like 30 minutes or so, however long it should take them to finish an assignment, and then that's how long they know that they have to have their work completed. So if they don't get that done in a time frame, the teacher has a free will to do whatever they would like, whether it be no phones, whether it be let me see your work, let me see what you've done, okay, let's make it better by doing this. Giving that positive reinforcement or just positive feedback overall can help the students build and make them mindful about how they're using their cell phones and their time wisely. Another benefit of allowing students to use their cell phones during school is communication. Now, communication from school to parents to students or whoever it may be is not the fastest or most efficient way of communicating. In February in 2017, Stoneman Douglas High School had one of the most tragic school shootings in history, and there was even one most recently in Oxford High School in Michigan. School shootings, unfortunately, are becoming more and more, I don't want to say popular, but like they're happening more often. And it's super sad to say, but like it's true. School shootings are happening left and right. So with students being able to have their cell phones on them, if students do go into lockdown, or it's not just school shootings either, it's school shootings, it's abductions, whatever an emergency might be, Students are then able to communicate effectively and more faster with their parent, guardian, whoever it may be, rather than trying to link it to the school, to the parent, to the student. It's just not as fast and effective. So with that being said, communication within students and parents is one of the biggest benefits really to allowing schools allowing students to have their cell phones on them. I also wanted to touch base on something else. So, cell phones are one of the most vital education tools that teachers can use, whether it be for educational games, whether students use it for research, like I previously stated, or for music. It's something that allows the students to use for their schoolwork. They can make the most out of their resources, and there's nothing really bad that comes from that, especially with the best classroom management that teachers can implement. Cell phones can be one of the most vital educational tools. Lastly, I did want to touch base on the lifelong skills that students can gain from schools allowing them to have their cell phones on them. Some of the lifelong skills that students can gain from having their cell phones on them is self-management and time management, with students having the realization that they can do things without their cell phone, and with teachers there to kind of guide them to use their cell phones correctly. Students are then able to learn and process how to do things efficiently and use their resources to their best advantage. So, are you going to let your students use their cell phones in school? Thank you.